Yesterday we were talking about the relation between Dhamma Savana and Attasamapaniti, listening to the sublime Dhamma and self-cultivation Attasamapaniti, which is a cause for right attitude, Yoniso Manasikara. Not just listening to the uplifting Dhamma, but undertaking a practice towards self-cultivation, Attasamapaniti, so that one's life becomes blameless and pure. In a way, it's fashioning one's life. The two are related. Just like when you want to beautify yourself, you need the materials to beautify yourself, such as makeup, cosmetics, something like that. But even if you have these materials, if you don't know how to beautify it, then you won't look beautiful. If for those who like to be beautiful, they should know the method of beautifying and decorate themselves wherever should be decorated, not in the wrong place. Decorate in the right place. After that, you go in front of the mirror, better life-size mirror, so that you can look at yourself from every angle, sideways, frontways, backways, so that there will be no flaws in you. Then you can go wherever you like to go, a party or something. Now this Dhamma Savana and Attasamapaniti, listening to the sublime Dhamma and self-cultivation, the two which are related, interrelated, are a means of fashioning one's life. But most people fashion one's body. They are slow in fashioning their mind, and even if they do, they are not doing enough. That's why it is said that because your mind is not fashioned, your body is not properly shaped. Only when your mind is properly cultivated, the body will become properly fashioned and shaped. Hence, in the Attasamapaniti, Atta is given as Citta, mind. And mind is the main thing. If the mind is good, your body and speech will be good. If the mind is not good, the body and speech will not be good. Instead, they will be ugly. So, undertaking this high-level practice of Satipatthana is fashioning one's life, shaping one's life, so that one's mind is properly shaped. And if one's mind is properly shaped, one's body also will be properly fashioned. By fashioning your mind better and better, by guarding yourself with vigilant mindfulness of every arising, and you take up this high-level practice to beautify yourself. If you think about it, you feel very good with the practice. As for one's life, there has to be control or restraint. If there is no restraint, then one's life will become ugly. And if there is no control, one will not be able to prevent ugliness or impurities from entering one's thought stream of consciousness. Then one will not be able to prevent these ugly things, impurities, and then there will be no security from impurities, will not be free from ugliness, not be free from impurities. Then you will be under bondage of these defilements. There will be no peace. Then this will be a cause for suffering. Therefore, we need to systematically practice mindfulness by controlling one's mind, practice the restraint of the mind. As much as you practice the control of the mind, you will be able to prevent these impurities from entering. And as much as you can prevent, you will feel secure. And as much as you feel secure, you will be free from bondage of these ugly things, impurities. Then you will be peaceful and pure, which will be the cause for happiness. So today we shall discuss about this from both the theoretical and practical aspects, how by fashioning the mind, one's body also becomes fashioned. Just try to just leave your mind on control in your daily life. When you are living the daily life, not being mindful, leaving the mind on control, what will happen? Because there's no restraint, the mind is out of control. When you meet desirable object, there will be desire and craving, greed, all these things will arise. You say in Pali, raga, lust or craving, which is the same as lobha, greed or craving. Such as a fire, this kind of fire is very difficult to extinguish once it enters your consciousness. That's why it is called kilesa, defilement, or tormenting, torturing things, elements. It taints your mind, make your mind impure. Like fire, when it burns, it will leave behind only dirty, black things, not white, pure, clean, beautiful things. You can just look when fire takes place. Everything becomes black and ugly when the literal fire takes place. So too with the mind. If you don't practice the control of the mind, leave your mind uncontrolled, when it comes to desirable object, the fire of raga, lust or craving will burn. You'll be on fire with raga, which is difficult to extinguish. Make your mind impure your mind, then become dirty, ugly, black. Same thing with the undesirable object, an object which will cause hatred or ill will. There will be dissatisfaction, disappointment, anger, ill will, wishing to destroy others, covetousness, things like that will happen. Also, this also is called another fire, the fire of anger or ill will. If these two kinds of fire burn, then they can kill you. If not the body, it can kill your glory and honor. Because of this lobha dosa fire, the blood in your heart will can change in color and viscosity, from clarity to contamination, dirtiness, and become viscous, so that when it circulates through your body, it may block your arteries, then cause death, finally cause death. That's why it is called kilesa, they call kilesa mara, the killer of kilesa. Even if the person doesn't die because of his or her violent actions, the honor and glory will die. That's why mara causes loss in as regards loss by way of death or loss of glory and honor. It's a dangerous killer. When anger arises, your mind will become impure. If your mind is impure, the body also will become impure. Like the body will be like when the fire has taken place, it leaves behind all the dirty things, black things, cinders, and so on. And the same thing with delusion, folly. Another kind of ugliness, moha. It can also stay in your mind, taint your mind. Just like these three kinds of fire of kilesas are in the literatures. This expression savana is used, meaning beautiful, pleasant, shaped, properly shaped, graceful, and so on. This is not the name given to the mind or consciousness. Instead, it is given to the Chitasikas, mental states or mind states, or mental concomitants, which depend on the mind, which is associated with the mind, which occurs with the mind, and which tends to color the mind. Beautiful means free from ugliness, free from dirtiness, free from taints. Just like when fire takes place, when it is burning, it is very hot, and after it is burnt, it leaves behind all dirty black things. The same with the mind, when it's burned by these fires of kilesas, lobha, dosa, moha, and these are mental states. When they are associated with the mind, they can taint the mind, leave the mind dirty and ugly, making the mind ugly and dirty. And raga, dosa, moha, the same thing. They are the impurities. They color the mind, hence the name Cetasika, mind state or mental concomitants. The opposite of that is beauty or beautiful states, states which are properly shaped, which shape the mind, graceful mental states, free of fire, free of burning, free of this burning, the heat. It can purify the mind, so the mind becomes free of heat. Hence the name Sobhana, beautiful. Beginning with the mental states, beginning with saddha, faith and confidence. You can make a clear decision, it can clarify the mind, and it can cause faith. It is faith and confidence as the meaning of saddha. You become satisfied with what you believe in. Faith in things beginning with the Buddha. Faith in the Buddha and faith in the Dhamma, which can uplift your mind, and it is important to have faith in the Dhamma. By practicing this Satipatthana, knowing the benefits of the practice of Satipatthana, beginning with the purity of mind, there are 7 benefits as assured by the Buddha. Then you will instill faith, saddha. So knowing that if you are doubtful about the benefits of Satipatthana, then you will not undertake it, because you have no doubt. Faith is opposite of doubt, or doubt is opposite of vice versa. If you don't have faith, it is alright if you don't have faith on the wrong thing, but if you don't have faith in the right thing, the truth, if you don't instill faith in the truth, then you will not be able to gain the benefit of that practice. Once you are able to instill faith, then there will be no doubt, because doubts can cause ugliness, impurities. Now you are free of doubt, so that your mind becomes clear and serene, and that is how faith, why it is said that faith and confidence clarifies the mind. Now the saddha, one has faith, one instills faith that such a thing is correct. One comes to have faith with one's own personal knowledge. That is the natural characteristic of Saddha, having confiding in it with one's own personal knowledge. That is the natural characteristic of faith, Saddha. Once one instills Saddha, then one will be free of impurities in the mind, mental impurities. The mind will become clear. Free of impurities, the mind will become not only clear but active. That is the function of Saddha, faith and confidence. It can clarify and activate its associated mental states. That is the function of Saddha. Like when your water is not clear, then you put, in our country we put alum, a piece of chemical called alum. And if you put alum, it brings down all the sediments and your water becomes clear, because the sediments sit at the bottom together with alum. Of course, in the text is given in another way. So, anything which can cause Saddha, faith and confidence, will be confided, will be believed with one's own personal knowledge, that it is correct, and you come to a resolution that clarifies your mind. Your mind becomes clear and active, saying that, oh, it is correct, so that you become free of doubt and skeptical doubt. Freedom of doubt and impurities is the manifestation of Saddha. Akalusiya Pachipatthana is given as the manifestation. Free of impurities, free of defilements and hindrances to progress, called nivarnas. All these impurities and taints will not arise in your mind. You will be free of them. Then the nearest cause is the believable things which can cause faith, which can cause faith. Sadhyavatu in Pali. Things which can cause faith, which can cause faith and confidence, are things such as Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. These are the main things. And then karma and karma results. Taking up the concept, accepting the concept that good begets good, bad begets bad. If you do good, you get good. This is how you believe in your karma and karma result. If you do bad, then you will get bad things, bad consequences. That is your karma and karma result. And so long as the present life is here, there should have been the past life, which has caused us to come into being. And then so long as we perform karma which can prolong our existences, all along the samsara, then there would be another becoming or future becomings, so long as we have karmic actions. So these are the sadhyavatu, things which can cause faith and confidence. And this is the nearest cause for making a decision as regards faith and confidence. If the sadhyavatu, things which are worthy of faith, are not correct, then this can lead to blind faith. Sometimes faith in confiding in things which are not true, confiding in false things. And even if the sadhyavatu, things which cause faith, are correct, if one is doing it not so seriously, but very lightly, casually, in a usual traditional way, without knowledge, then because such faith is not accompanied with knowledge, this is known as Mudra Pasana, a blind faith, or Mudra Pasana. It's a wasted, worthless faith, wasting time. Because this material which can cause faith is not correct, even if you have faith in it, it will not give you positive consequence. This is unnecessary faith. It's a worthless, time-consuming faith. Since the faith is correct, it is accompanied with knowledge, especially on the Sadhyavuttu, the material which can cause faith, with one's own personal knowledge, then one comes to acceptance, resolution, and confirmation. If such things happen, then there will be no skeptical doubt. The mind will become clear. There will be no such thing as sediments. The mind will free of sediments, like the water, and then it will become fresh and active. If one, this sadhana is the basic mental state which can shape one's mind, especially having the correct attitude. Once you accept this doctrine of good begets good, bad begets bad. If you do good, you get good. You'll be good. If you do bad, you'll be bad. And these good and bad actions lead you to good and bad becoming. So that you will see the bad consequences from bad actions as detestable and fearful. Then you will become vigilant and heedful in your actions. If you accept this concept of karma and karma result, from one moment to another moment, from 1 hour to another, from one day to another, you will become, if you are heedful, be mindful, then you will be free from unwholesome consequences. Because you are mindful in your omission and commission, not failing, there will be only heedfulness, apamada. Such is the power, such is a powerful means of shaping one's mind, shaping one's body by shaping one's mind. To put it down in practice, when the object to be noted arises, you note so as to sink into the object, as though the noting mind sink into the object, such as when you're noting the main objects or rising and falling, you note in such a way as to sink, as though the noting mind sinks into the object. Whatever arises, not losing sight of that object. That is the function of sati, mindfulness. As your noting mind is concurrent, as you take an aim and take an aim at the object to be noted, and the noting mind becomes concurrent, and the mindfulness is continuous, like the saying, guard yourself with vigilant mindfulness of every arising, then this noting mind, the mindfulness will become manifested in your mind. That the nature of the protection, that sati is protecting your mind. That will become manifested in your mind. That sati is protecting you. Such is the Pachupatthana, Areka Pachupatthana, the manifestation of protection. That is the manifestation of sati. So you come to, this will be manifested in your mind. When these disturbances don't enter your stream of consciousness, because if they enter, then your mind will become hot, burn, your mind will burn, your mind will be on fire, and there will be a lot of, your mind will become dirty and black. Now you are free from these burning elements, free from burning fire, free from impurities, so that your mind becomes clear, causing sada, such as from the believing, confiding faith to the clear faith. So, in order to do that, you just note in a steadfast manner whatever arises, good or bad, any object which arises, no choice. You don't have to choose that this is a good object or this is a bad one. I won't note. There's no such thing. You just note whether it's good or bad. Whatever is obvious will be noted, recording it in a way. Just like you are recording a sound with the tape recorders, any sound, whether it is good sound or bad sound, they will be recorded in your recorder, your tape recorder, so that your sound becomes steadfast. So too, as much as you record, record with the noting mind, that is noting the object, is a recording, your mind, your noting mind, your sati will become steadfast, whatever happens. So every arising object is recorded by noting at the moment of their arising, so that the mind becomes steadfast. This recording known as sanya, perception or recording, which is the nearest cause for steadfast mindfulness. Yes. The nearest cause for sati, mindfulness, is given as tira sanya padatana. Steadfast recording or perception is the nearest cause for sati. Whoever wants to note continuously, to be consistent in their mindfulness, or to sustain their mindfulness, they are required to note the arising obvious object, whether it's good or bad. There's no room for thought at that time, no room for intellectualization. Just record it. Just grab it, in other words. Then if you record it, then your mindfulness will become steadfast. That's why yogis are exhorted, as soon as the object arises, just grab it, rush your noting mind to it, and just sink into it, which is very important. That is urging the yogis to record steadfastly, to have a steadfast recording, leading to steadfast mindfulness, so that sati gains the priority, gains the upper hand, so that there will be no pamada, heedlessness of omission and commission, heedlessness about what should be abstained, what should be observed, and instead you can become heedful, apamada. Hence, once sati arises, your mind will become clear. Hence, sati is a beautiful mental state known as sobhana. It purifies the mind, and this shapes or fashions the mind. Though sometimes because of loss of mindfulness, the impurities may enter, because you are always mindful, your mind is always clear and free of impurities. If on the other hand you leave your mind uncontrolled, not being mindful, then your you may indulge in covetousness. That is your mental defilements, mental immoral deeds, covetousness, ill will, leading to they may lead to transgressive actions by body and speech, thus degrading you, degenerating you. However, if you are able to be mindful consistently, you will never degrade yourself. Then you will find out that when you are not mindful and you indulge in violent actions, unwholesome actions, these things are detestable and fearful. By indulging in them, by giving way to all these violent actions, there will be consequences. These consequences are also undesirable, they're detestable and fearful. So you detest and fear these unwholesome things entering a stream of consciousness. You don't want your mind to become tainted with all these impurities. You detest and fear the entry of defilements. In this way, you should detest you should detest detestable things. You should fear fearful things. Excuse me. Such is known as Hiri Ottappa, or consciousness and fear, which are very important. So whoever is mindful will only strengthen their mindfulness, sati, and knowing these good and bad actions and good and bad consequences, detesting undesirable consequences, there will be more mindfulness, more sati arising. They'll be more and more mindful, and as much as they are mindful, there can arise craving or greed. Instead, non-greed, non-craving will arise. And instead of anger or ill will, non-anger, non-hatred will arise. So your mind will be free of greed and hatred. These things, that's why these things are known as beautiful things. They beautify your mind, so that your mind will become free of impurities. These two wholesome mental states, Hiri Ottappa, are required for everybody who wants to live a clean, pure life. They are said to be to possess white background, because itself or themselves are white, and also it can whiten or purify the associated states. That's why it's called the white background, or the states which have white background. So long as they are there, they will prevent you from committing unskillful things, so that you won't go wrong. You won't defile yourself, at the same time harm others. Hence, because they protect yourself, they safeguard you, at the same time safeguard others, not harming others. Hence the name Lokapala, the protector of the world. So this, because this can also shines the world, it shines bright, hence the name Deva Dhamma. Bright, it shines bright, shining states. And in this way, there are many beautiful, good epithets or names which qualify these two wholesome mental states. To apply this into practical experience and practice of Satipatthana, when once you possess these two wholesome mental states, Hiri and Ottappa, you detest and fear, you're conscious of losing your mindfulness, you're conscious of letting kilesas enter your stream of consciousness, you are conscious of disrupting your noble practice, and you'll be more and more careful, more and more mindful, And as much as you are more mindful, to be more mindful, you apply, you exert more and more energy. And these mental powers come to you. You will come to possess these mental powers. And as much as you possess these mental powers, your stream of consciousness, your thought process will become properly shaped, and you will practice not to miss every arising object, as is given in the manifesting quality of Sati, Araka Pachuparana, the manifestation of protection. The impurities will not enter your stream of consciousness because your mind is protected. Because of the Hi-Ottappa, not to detesting or fearing or conscious of losing your mindfulness, there will be more and more Sati arising in you. And if you have more Sati, more mindfulness, there will be only non-greed instead of greed, non-craving instead of craving, non-ill will, non-hatred instead of ill will or hatred. So, at that moment, even if you come into contact with desirable and undesirable objects, usually you will be excited, you become excited with emotions. Now there will be no unnecessary likes or dislikes about desirable or undesirable objects. Instead, your mind will become balanced, such as known as Tatra Mejadatta, equanimity, which beautifies the mind, also another beautifying state, another purifier, beautifying the mind, shaping the mind. Hence its name, Sobhana. So when you come into contact with things which can cause lova and dodha, and there will be no likes and dislikes about desirable and undesirable object. There's no dejection, or there are no likes or dislikes. There are no elation or dejection about pleasant and unpleasant objects. And then your mind becomes balanced as regards these objects. So this balanced mind, or balanced mentality is essential, is required by everybody. It's essential for everybody. Once your attitude or mind becomes balanced, then you'll become free of these burning fires, torturing, burning elements. You'll be free of the impurities. And because you are free of impurities, your body and mind become levitated, becomes very light, soft and malleable, physically and mentally. And because your mindfulness, the practice is properly shaped, properly molded, properly fashioned, you're noting almost automatically, without extra effort. You're just cruising along, like you are driving your vehicle in a traffic-free road on a Sunday morning. You will be cruising along, so also you'll be noting your objects without extra effort, in an easy manner. That will happen in both your mind and the body. Then you will become proficient in your practice. Previously you had to exert extra energy, just with grin teeth sort of thing. Now you don't have to grin your teeth, otherwise you might break your teeth. So now you can note easily, comfortably. Your noting mind will be cruising along the objects as they arise. That is proficiency, both mentally and physically. So now at that stage, you will come to see for yourself. You come to analyze yourself about things you have done, and you might come to confess yourself or to the teachers your mistakes, your shortcomings, your weaknesses. Such is how the yogi comes into possession of honesty, which is the best policy. The mind is said to become properly shaped. So, not to speak, not to mention, when you are able to cultivate knowledge and insight, then your mind will become matured and come to possess the mental, spiritual stamina. So that at this stage, you'll be able to practice metta and karuna in a normal way, and other things also. So this is how to fashion your mind. Your mind is said to be fashioned, decorated, and beautified, free of ugliness, free of impurities such as greed, hatred. The mind becomes fashioned and molded, and shaped. So are also your body and speech. They will become properly shaped, properly fashioned. So in future, later, in due course, with mindfulness, with the continued practice of mindfulness, your mind will become properly shaped, and because your mind is properly shaped, your body also will become properly shaped. Especially your blood circulation. Because your blood becomes clear, clarified, the clear blood will circulate through your body, affecting your face. Your face will become graceful. It will shine beautiful. Because your mind is beautiful, your body becomes beautiful, especially the face. So the practice is, or satipatthana is to beautify the mind. It is recommended especially for those who want to be beautiful. So you don't need special materials like cosmetics and whatnot in front of your mirror or whatever it is. And go to beauty parlor, no need for that. Automatically, with the practice of mindfulness, beautifying your mind, your body will become beautiful, fashioned, like a model, beautiful. That's because your mind is beautiful. That is why it is said that beautifying the mind beautifies the body, especially for those who like to be beautiful. You can, your mind will probably shape. By shaping the mind, you can shape the body, and satipatthana is the practice to achieve that. Everybody wants to be beautiful. Shall I say, he also wants to be beautiful. So too is the Buddha, not to mention ordinary beings. But the way the Buddha wants to be beautiful is, he wants to beautify his mind, beautify the mind, so that it is beautiful and pure. And the women folk, they like to be more beautiful than man folk. So there are also the gadgets that you use to beautify your eyes, eyelids, eyelashes, nails, face and whatnot, skin, and everything that he cannot mention, or he doesn't know how to mention. So as to be properly shaped. If these women can beautify, use these gadgets or materials, systematically, not in the wrong place, but right thing in the right place, then they will become properly shaped. But people give emphasis on beautifying the body, but they forget to beautify the mind, or they are slow in beautifying the mind. So the body and mind has to be beautified. If you leave the mind uncontrolled, it will not become beautiful as it is. But if you beautify your mind, your body also will become beautiful automatically. So now there we have the beautifying materials, gadgets, spiritual things, of course, not the material things, such as Sada, we have just discussed. They are beautiful mental states, Sobhana. This comes as Sati, mindfulness. Hiri-Ottappa, all these things are beautifying materials, the gadgets, which the Buddha has recommended, spiritual gadgets. If we can only utilize them, right place, right thing in the right place, then we are bound to beautify our mind so as to be free from these ugly mental things such as passion, hatred and delusion. Free of them, then if you go in front of the mirror and look at yourself, you will become satisfied. The practice is to beautify the mind, hence is Sobhana, beautifying mental beautifiers. These mental beautifiers in terms of Sarama Savana, listening to the sublime discourse, sublime Dhamma. This is one way of beautifying. Next comes Attasamapanniti, self-cultivation or right self-regulation, which is another beautifying gadget. So if you apply these things, then your mind is bound to become beautiful. Just as when the Buddha asked his son, Rahula, what is the use of the mirror? And Rahula replied, Venerable Sir, for reflection. Now we have the spiritual mirror to reflect. If you go in front of that spiritual mirror and look at yourself, this is a spiritual mirror or knowledge mirror, then you'll find that there will be no ugliness in you, only beauty all over. This is, you'll be assured of a satisfying life. That's all. We'll continue tomorrow.